Today we are going to cover the days of Mashaer, inshallah. So last week we heard from Mufti Ahmed about the Hajj rituals and the guidance from Mufti Ahmed. So today we are going to follow up on that one, summarize at a very high level, and then we will start getting into, from a logistics perspective, the different aspects of the days of Mashaer, inshallah. Days of Mashaer are the days where once you get into Mina, how you get into Mina the first day, which is the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, the Arafat, Muzdalifah, how you go about doing the Rami, the Hadi, which is the Qurbani, and the Tawaful Ifada, etc., etc. We are going to cover this, inshallah, day by day at a high level. We are going to get into detail in later sessions, but today we are going to cover it at a high level from a logistics perspective, inshallah ta'ala. So let's go ahead and get started. So one of the things that we want to make sure that by now people should have started looking at the supplies list that we have shared, especially the items that we have listed there which protect against the weather conditions, such as the umbrella, the lotions, anything that keeps you cooler. Okay. Please bear in mind the temperature in Saudi Arabia can get into 120 plus degrees, and for longer hours, you are going to be out in the sun, whether you are in Al Kabsh or whether you are in Al Maasim. So it is very important that you take all possible precautions and you get the items that we have listed, which will help you towards the challenging weather conditions, inshallah ta'ala. So please review the supplies list carefully. Again, this is not exhaustive, okay? We have only listed the items that we believe are critical. I am sure there are a lot more things that you can possibly consider, etc. So take this as a starting point. We've given you some of the links in there as a reference point. Of course, as we have always said, try to support wherever possible your local Muslim businesses, wherever you can possibly, such as the ihram. If you can buy it locally, that's the best thing. I know some of the lotions are also sold by some of the local stores. So as long as they comply with the requirements of the ihram, please do consider it. The other thing is the Hajj rituals are very arduous. They're very, very intense. Many are the days of the Mashaer, most of the days you'll be walking about 2 to 5 miles, depending on which camp you are in, etc. So start preparing physically. One definite suggestion is start walking. Start walking a mile, 2 miles, whatever is convenient for you. Please bear in mind, uh, there is no assisted wheelchair available in the Mashair days. The assisted wheelchair is available in the Haram, but once you go out of the Haram, once you are in the Mina, Arafat, Muzdalifah, etc., there is no assisted wheelchair available. So it is very important that you are able to walk, etc. So start preparing physically. The other thing that I very much would like to cover is develop that Haji's frame of mind. You're not going there just to do the tawaf and go to Mina, Arafat, Muzdalifah, come back and say, yep, I performed the Hajj. No, you need to start thinking of what is an Haji. What is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asking from you? In some of the later sessions, inshallah, we probably have requested some Hajj seminars, inshallah. Maybe it'll be covered, inshallah. It depends on time because we're coming very close to the our departure days. So start developing that Hajj's frame of mind. Patience, patience. Just bear in mind you are the guest of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have done the best possible in selecting the package that most suits your need based on your requirements, based on your availability, based on what you can possibly afford, etc. You have made the best possible. Now it's time for you to say, I have made the best possible decision. We have made the best possible arrangements. Once you are the guest of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We as a guide, service providers, whether it is whoever service provider is, they are going to, inshallah ta'ala, try to do their level best to make the arrangement. But you have to bear in mind the weather conditions, the number of people, and lots of things. Anything and everything can go wrong. But do remember, you are Allah's guest. It's very, very, very important that you maintain your patience. You understand, always remember that you are Allah's guest. Be forgiving. Be forgiving. Just remember, the person next to you is also a guest of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everyone that is there performing the Hajj is a guest of Allah, not just you. So be forgiving. You want to be forgiving towards the guest of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's how you should start looking. You have to start looking, do I want to be rude? Do I want to be impatient? Do I want to say something bad to a guest of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Because remember, everyone is the guest of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And be grateful. Be grateful that you are chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be one of those people that is performing Hajj. We are receiving calls even now asking, how can I go? How can I go this year? But unfortunately, they cannot because the packages are out. But you are the chosen one. Be grateful. Have that feeling that says humbleness, that says, oh my God, I have been chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala this year. So I have been chosen to be his guest. So start thinking about it. When you are there, yes, there are lots of things that are not right. The rooms might not be the best in condition. You may not get the room exactly as soon as you arrive. It's possible. The buses might be crowded. They may not come on time. The food might be good, but may not be the best what you want. But instead of looking at the negative part, start looking at goodness around you. See goodness. Look at goodness in people. Look at goodness in the arrangements. Look at goodness in the fact that you are there. See goodness. Look at the goodness around you. If you start looking at the goodness around you with each other, etc. I mean, when you are doing a tawaf, if a person pushes you, think about the fact that, that person is eager to do the tawaf. That's why he's trying to rush forward. Instead of saying, what an idiot, what a bad guy, what is this thing? You're wasting your time. You're burning your cells towards negativity, possibly saying another thing to a guest of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So my humble request is start thinking of yourself as a Haji and what is the frame of mind. Start getting that frame of mind of a Haji. Not just understanding how to do the tawaf, not just understanding how to do the sa'i, how many rounds, how what, when can you lose wudu, when is wudu required. Inshallah, we're going to guide you. You will get that, inshallah. But much more than that, your frame of mind. Your frame of mind that says, Allah has chosen me. I'm going to be a guest there and I will behave as a guest. I will act as a guest. And when I come back, I'm going to be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is how you gain Hajj Mabrur. When you come back and you say, Subhanallah, I came back and I was patient with everything around me. Okay. That is how you gain Hajj Mabrur, inshallah ta'ala. So I want a commitment from everyone that's listening to this webinar. Please start thinking of a Hajj webinar, Hajj's frame of mind, and start thinking about how you're going to get again a Hajj Mabrur. How you're going to get a Hajj Mabrur. Hajj Mabrur is not just because you completed the tawaf, sa'i, etc., etc. It's also coming back from there with a clean slate, a newborn baby. There are different hadiths that refers to the fact that when you come back from the Hajj, you are like a newborn baby. You come clean. You come clean of all the sins, etc. But that requires a lot more effort than just doing the tawaf and rami, etc., etc. So this is a summary of what we heard from Mufti Ahmed last week about the process of the ritual part. So if I look at it from here, you start from your gateway city. The first question that you have to ask is my first destination Makkah? If the first destination is Makkah, then before you board the flight to Jeddah, the last airport, for example, if you're flying out of Washington to Jeddah, then in Washington you would consider this one. If you're flying to Riyadh and then from Riyadh you're getting into Jeddah, then in Riyadh you have to do this one. You change into ihram, the clothing, ihram. You make wudu. You do 2 rakat nafil salah. Oh, sorry, this salad, sorry. You do 2 rakat nafil salah, but you do not make the intention. You do not make the intention. So this is, if Makkah is your first city, at the airport before you board the flight to Jeddah or to Medina or to Jeddah, sorry. Before you board the flight to Jeddah, you change into Ihram, make wudu to rakat nafil salah, but you do not make the intention. Okay, you make the intention when the miqat is announced. You make the intention of Ihram, basically. Okay, so but if Makkah is not your first city, then you are going to go into Medina first, and then the decision point from Medina is, are you taking train to Makkah? If you're taking train to Makkah, then before leaving Medina, you change into Ihram. You do the same thing here. You change into Ihram, make wudu, 2 rakat nafil salah, but you do not make the intention. You make the intention when the miqat is announced on the train. Okay, as you get closer to Jeddah, the announcement is made about miqat. That's when you're going to make the intention. Now, if you're not taking the train, if you're taking the bus, for example, most of our packages have the Haramain train is going to be used. But in case if there are some packages that does not include the train, in that case, you before you leave Medina, you change into Ihram, you make wudu, at the miqat, the bus is going to stop. You're going to do 2 rakat nafil salah, and that's where you're going to make the intention. So now, at this point in time, you are in the state of ihram. So whether you're coming Makkah first, Medina first, whether you're coming by a train, airplane, or by bus, here once you cross the miqat, you are in the state of ihram. So once you get into Makkah, one of the first things you're going to do is you're going to do the Umrah, which is part of the requirement of the Hajj. Okay, so as you can see, I have all this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that I've listed. These are which are part and parcel of the rituals of the Hajj itself. Okay, so you're going to perform the tawaf, sa'i, and then after that one, you're going to shave or trim. The recommended thing is the shaving, because you are going for Hajj. You want to get the best possible out of there. Basically, if someone is telling you, I'm going to give you gold or I'm going to give you silver, you want to get the gold, because shaving of the during after the Umrah is a recommended approach. Of course, you can trim if there is a reason that you want to do that. So out of that, you come out of Ihram if you're doing Hajjatamatu. Okay, if you're doing Hajjatamatu, you come out of Ihram and you wait for the 8th of Dhul Hijjah going into Mina. So one thing is, before you move to Mina camp here, you change back into Ihram. You put your Ihram back on. So that is something that you'd go through the same process here. You're going to make wudu, etc., put on the Ihram. So you're getting ready now to go to Mina. So I'm going to get into a little bit more detail on this one. So this is the 8th of Dhul Hijjah. On the 9th of Dhul Hijjah daytime, you're going to Arafat. After Fajr from Mina, you're going to travel to Arafat. You're going to perform Duhar and Asr in Arafat. No Maghrib in Arafat. Even if it gets after sunset, even if it gets later in the evening, you do not perform Maghrib in Arafat. That's one of the requirements of the Hajj, basically. So after Duhar and Asr, you do it in Arafat. So after sunset in Arafat, you will be moving to Muzdalifah. In Muzdalifah, you're going to do Maghrib, Isha, and then later on Fajr, and you're going to collect the pebbles here, which is the Sunnah. And then on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, uh, after Fajr Salah from Muzdalifah, you're going to go to Mina. You're going to do the Rami of Jamarat al-Aqaba, which is the big shaitan, which is all the way at the end. We will go over this again. You're going to do the Hadi. You're going to wait for the confirmation, and then shave or trim of hair, and then you come out of Ihram. Now, on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, you can also go to Tawaful Ifada, but our recommendation is to do the Tawaful Ifada on the 11th of Dhul Hijjah. On the 11th of Dhul Hijjah, after Dhuhr Salah, after Zawal, you're going to do the Rami of all the Jamarat, okay? And then either in the first thing in the morning, our recommendation is to do Tawaful Ifada first thing in the morning. We are going to try to guide you there. We are going to try to help you, inshallah ta'ala. So Tawaful Ifada, we recommend that you do on 11th of Dhul Hijjah. On the 12th of Dhul Hijjah, you'd repeat the same Rami of all the Jamarat after Dhuhr Salah, after Zawal. And then you need to leave Mina before sunset, heading back to Makkah, whether it is whether you're staying in Azizia or whether you're staying close to the Haram, you need to leave before sunset. Okay, if you don't leave by sunset, if you end up being in Mina by sunset, you are required to stay overnight in Mina and then perform Rami the next day, repeat the whole thing again, and then leave Mina on the 13th of Dhul Hijjah. So try to, inshallah, we are going to make the arrangement. We are going to work with you to leave before sunset from Mina, inshallah ta'ala. Before you leave Makkah, the last step of the Hajj is you do Tawaful Wida, basically the farewell Tawaf before leaving Makkah. It could be the day before, it could be just a few hours before, however is possible. And then, inshallah ta'ala, you will be achieving Hajj Mabrur, inshallah ta'ala. So these are again the same Hajj steps in more pictorial format. You're going to do the Umrah, then you're going to go to Mina, and then Arafat, from Arafat to Muzdalifah, and Muzdalifah back to Mina for the Jamarat, and then back to Makkah after the 3 days in this thing for performing Tawaful Ifada, and then back, etc. So this is basically pictorial. You can review this later, inshallah ta'ala, more. Now, let's start getting into the day by day of the Mashaer days, okay? On the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, generally from the midnight of 7th of Dhul Hijjah to the morning of 8th of Dhul Hijjah, we are going to try and move people from the hotels to the Mina camp. So somewhere between the midnight to Fajr, or maybe a little bit after Fajr, depending on how the arrangements are, we are going to move people to Mina, inshallah ta'ala, and all the camps. Transportation is by bus only, whether you are in Al Muassam or Al Kabsh. It's all the transportation is by bus. Travel light, pack only the necessary items, but do pack necessary items. For example, if you have medical condition, if you need medicine, make sure you put that first. If you have a need for some medical equipment that needs to be plugged in, make sure you take all the necessary accessories that need to go with that. And then pack very light. You don't need to take sheets, pillows. You don't need to take I mean, towel, of course, you should take, but you don't need to take any of those other supplies. Sleeping bag, you don't need to take sleeping bag. So travel light, preferably just a backpack so that you can move from place to place easily. And then especially on the way back on the 12th of Dhul Hijjah, it'll be much easier if you just have a backpack. It is recommended to do five prayers in Mina, not required, but it is recommended, which is basically the Dhuhr on the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, the Asr, Maghrib, Isha, and Fajr. And after Fajr Salah, you're going to start moving to Arafat. Now, once you get into Mina, note down the GPS location pointer, okay? Save the location pointer in your phone so that this will become much more useful to you when you start going for Rami, when you want to return back in case if there is you're lost from the group, etc. It'll help you greatly if you save the GPS pointer of your camp, your exact camp where the camp is. And then share it with the group, share it with other people. Rest up and prepare for the Hajj rituals. And after the Fajr of 9th of Dhul Hijjah, we are going to travel to Arafat. Al Kabsh will travel by train. The Al Mawsam will travel by bus. Again, opportunities to collect extra favors from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are opportunities on a daily basis. I'm going to share this one. The transportation between Mina and Arafat and Muzdalifah can be challenged. As much as everyone tries to make the arrangements, unfortunately, due to human nature, sometimes people don't follow the rules, don't follow the guideline. They try to rush into the buses. Be patient with them. Alhamdulillah, my group of hujjaj, they followed our guidance. And at least they did not have to rush through to the buses. We allowed the rush to get through, and then we were able to take our group peacefully. So please listen to your guides, whether you're going with us or you're going with someone else. Please be patient. allow the other people to get through if that's what they want to do. If someone else wants to rush, if someone else wants to push you and get into the bus, let them do it. You will get to Arafat. That is the commitment that we all have, inshallah. You will get to Muzdalifah. You may not be the first person that gets there. So what? But at least you would not be pushing and making yourself miserable. So have some patience here. As much as we all, the guide, the service provider, we all try to make the best possible arrangement. Last time, I almost lost my voice having to stand outside and try to control the people that belong to other groups, not my group, mashallah. As I said, they were patiently waiting in the tent for my guidance to get into the bus. But trying to control the others was so hard. But this is where you need to show the patience, inshallah ta'ala. Patience and respecting the guidance will greatly help. That is this thing, okay? So on Arafat, you arrive in Arafat after Fajr Salah. Sometime probably about 8, 9 o'clock, you're going to arrive. Spend the day in Ibadah. This is the day of Arafat. This is one of the days where your ibadah, your du'as are greatly, greatly, greatly accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a day where you can ask for forgiveness. It is said that the weather conditions that in Arafat that you face, that you see, is a small, minuscule example of the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah. The hardness, the hot weather, etc. But of course, with the tents, with the ACs, with everything else, you don't feel it. But at least this is where you are going to start feeling how it is on the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah. Spend the day in Ibadah. Don't waste the time in talking or just having fun, just eating, etc. Of course, you need to do that, but try to spend the day in Ibadah. Now, the weather conditions, it's going to be major challenge. Please understand that. It's 120 degrees. It's open field. Arafat is an open field. There are very, very few trees in Arafat. Our recommendation is avoid leaving the camp, including going for Masjid al-Namra. Okay, we are going to try and put some groups together who want to go under the our guidance of our guide, one or two guides, but our recommendation is still avoid going to Masjid al-Namra because it's extremely hot. The walk to Masjid al-Namra is hard, and then you will have to get to Masjid al-Namra at least by 8, 10, 11 o'clock so that you can get inside. You do not want to get to Masjid al-Namra and praying outside in the hot sun. It's extremely hot. It's extremely dangerous. Please do not take that risk. You are not required to go to Masjid al-Namra. Okay, that is not part of the ritual. That's not part of the requirement that you have to do. Avoid it if you can, but if you have to go, work with our guides, work with us. Inshallah ta'ala, we are going to start putting out some surveys, trying to understand who all want to go, but we want to limit this to a very few people who can handle the challenging weather conditions, inshallah ta'ala. So in Arafat, you're going to perform Duhar and Asr, and after sunset, you're going to depart for Muzdalifah, inshallah ta'ala. Again, Al-Kabsh will use the train, Al-Muassam will use the bus. Opportunities, again, the same thing. The transportation from Arafat to Muzdalifah, as I've said, is a huge challenge. As much as it is better than Mina to Arafat, but still it does get to be a challenge, okay? Because everyone is trying to get there. Just remember, you need to just spend the night in Muzdalifah. It does not necessarily mean immediately after sunset you have to be in Muzdalifah. Yes, it's good to be there, but you don't have to be there. So be patient, be patient. Allow your guide to give you the guidance. Allow your guide to work with you, inshallah ta'ala. Muzdalifah. In Muzdalifah, whatever time you reach to Muzdalifah, that's when you're going to do your Maghrib and Isha Salah. Okay. And as for the Sunnah, you're going to collect the pebbles. You're going to collect the pebbles. You're going to collect 49 pebbles, which is required. 7, 21 plus 21, which is 49. But you should collect definitely a few extra. The reason being, when you are at Rami and when you are throwing the pebbles, okay, it is possible it may not reach the section where it needs to be, the walled area. It has to reach there. If it does not reach there, you have to repeat it. So it is good that you collect some extra pebbles. Inshallah, ta'ala, it'll help you, inshallah ta'ala. Rest in Muzdalifah. Rest in Muzdalifah. It's a night time. Rest up there, okay? Do the ibadah. Do the ibadah whatever you can. After the Fajr Salah, we are going to leave for Mina. Al-Kabsh group will use the train. Al-Masam you're going to use the bus. But we highly recommend, and this is with our group, you should do it. Not individually. We don't recommend you do this individually. We highly recommend, if possible, if you're capable, walk to Mina. It's a fairly easy walk because since you will be walking immediately after Fajr, the weather is not going to be hot. It's about 1.5 miles or so walk to Mina camp. This is I'm referring only to the Al Mosem folks, okay? If possible, walk. We are going to do the survey to find out who all want to walk so that we can develop proper groups that can walk to Mina under our guidance, inshallah ta'ala. Opportunities to collect extra favors from Allah. Again, Muzdalifah has limited space. Okay, there is very limited space in Muzdalifah. Accommodate other people. Do not like there are carpets laid out in Muzdalifah. It's an open field. Do not go there and just occupy the whole carpet, saying that this whole carpet is mine, my family, they are coming, etc., etc. Accommodate other people. Just remember, you are accommodating who? The guest of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you accommodate another Haji, you're basically accommodating a guest of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I am sure each and every one of us would love to take care of the guest of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is a great opportunity for you to do it. The transportation to Mina is a major challenge. It's among all the transportation that I keep referring to. The one from Muzdalifah to Mina is the most challenging one. Okay, it is the most challenging one because there is no specific way to control the people, to manage the people from getting into the bus. They can just jump the fence, come from the side, etc., etc. Again, bear in mind when you're looking at these people doing it, don't think bad of them because they are all guests of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, they are not doing the right thing, but still they are the guests of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So bear some of these things in mind. So when you're back in Mina, as soon as you're back in Mina, try to go as quickly as possible to the Jamarat. Okay. Remember, we talked about the timeline from the time you arrive into Jamarat to 10 o'clock. You need to finish your Rami by 10 o'clock so that we can continue with our Hadi, which we said the Qurbani, which is the Hadi for the hujjaj. At 10 o'clock, we are going to start. Somewhere immediately after 10 o'clock, we're going to start. You're going to do the Rami of Jamarat al-Aqaba, which is the big shaitan, basically, which is all the way at the end. If you're walking into the Jamarat tower, it's the first one is the small one, the middle one, and then the last one is the biggest one. So that's the one that you are going to stone on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah. Al-Kabsh to the Rami is about 1/2 mile walk, or there are train services. Al-Mosam, it's walking only. It's a little bit under 3 miles. Uh, on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah is generally not that very bad because you would be going in the morning hours when it's a little bit cooler, inshallah. Now, once you complete the Rami, wait for confirmation message of the Hadi, the Qurbani. So once you get the confirmation, then you can come out of Ihram by shaving or trimming of hair, and then you change out of Ihram, inshallah ta'ala. Rest up either at the hotel. If you're going to the Jamarat, you can walk over to most of the hotels. Millennium is just a straight walk through. Holiday Inn is also just under one mile and a little bit over. Your Ibis is just about 1.5 miles. It's fairly decent. You can walk over there. If you want to walk over there, you can go rest up there. But remember, before sunset, you have to be back in the Mina camp. You have to be back in the Mina camp, which is basically you trace your step right back, how you came to the Jamarat Bridge and how you went to the hotel. You trace right back the same way. There are no transportations from Azizia to the camp. Please do not expect that. You'll have to walk back, basically. Again, opportunities, same opportunities, similar type of opportunities here also. Now, this is the Jamarat Bridge, okay? So the way you would walk in here to the bridge, there are three different tiers here. Generally, people end up going to the second or the top tier. The top tier you go. The first is the Jamratul Ula, then Jamratul Usta, and then the Aqaba, the biggest one. So you'd walk in either from this side or from this side. Okay. Try not to go in directly like this. Try to go from the side here if possible, as close as possible, so that when you throw the pebble, it does reach the well of the Jamarat. It does not have to hit the stone, but it has to it has to fall into that well of the Jamarat. All the Jamarat have a well around it. It has to fall into that. That is a requirement. Okay. So on the first day, as we said, you're only going to do the Aqaba. On the second and third day, you're going to do all three of them, one, two, three. And so this is the process. So once you complete once you complete the third one, you basically walk around back here this way, back here to go to the camp. If you want to go to the hotel, you basically come down the escalators, make a right turn, and you walk in. You turn left from the Aqaba, take the escalator down, and then you would walk this way. And then we'll show you some of these maps in later webinars, inshallah ta'ala. But this is how you would complete your Jamarat. Now, very, very important note that you want to see here. Do not venture out individually. Stay with the group, whether you want to stay with the entire group or form your own group, but do not venture out individually. 120 degrees. If you're lost somewhere, you're definitely risking your health at that point in time. And you cannot say, I'm very healthy, I can handle this. We have seen young people fall severely sick where their rummy had to be performed by someone else. So please do not take the risk. Stay with the group. Stay with the group. The weather conditions can be extremely challenging. It's not just 120 degrees. The sun bears down. And then it's very easy to get disoriented in those kind of conditions, no matter how healthy you are. Okay. So avoid doing anything individually. If you do form your own group, make sure to plan things out. Do not just say, yeah, I'm going to follow this group. I'm just going to go. No, no, no. This is not a place to venture out. Okay. So be very careful, inshallah ta'ala, with this one. So on the 11th day of Dhul Hijjah, you're going to do the Rami of all the three Jamarat after Zawal. Okay, basically after Dhuhr Salah, you're going to do this. Our recommendation is to do the Tawaf al-Ifada on the 11th of Dhul Hijjah. Now, I want to talk about Tawaf al-Ifada. Lots of questions have come up. There are no specific arrangements made for Tawaful Ifada by the group or by the service provider. We have asked the service provider to see if they can make arrangements for some bus. What we will, inshallah, try to do is coordinate with our own group, smaller groups, to go to Haram for Tawaful Ifada. But it is not like, we have arranged for a bus. We cannot make arrangements for bus. We have tried this before. It is impossible to make arrangements for the bus because only limited number of buses are allowed into the Mina camp, into the Mashaer camp area. All the others, they cannot come in. Now, why is this also a challenge? Because if people go on their own, there is a possibility when you return back, the cabs, the buses, some buses will say, yeah, we'll take you there. But since they are not allowed to come in, they are going to end up dropping you somewhere far away before the tunnel. There is a tunnel that comes into the Mashaer area. The taxis cannot go beyond the tunnel. Of course, they are going to say, yes, we'll take you. But once they get there, they know that they cannot move forward. They'll drop you. That's a serious case where you could get lost severely at that point in time. We have had situations where people have gone in the morning for Tawaful Ifada and they have not been able to get back to the camp at least by 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, being lost. And in many cases, we had to send people to find them and bring them. We cannot afford to get lost like that. So work with your guide. We are going to try level best possible. Ministry of Hajj, with coordination from service provider, is planning on putting some buses. We will get more information on that. We will try to guide you, but stay with your guide. The guide will try to do the best possible coordination with you, inshallah ta'ala, to go to the haram and bring you back, inshallah ta'ala, safely, inshallah ta'ala. So work with the guide, inshallah ta'ala. The rest up again, either at the hotel or in Mina camp. Weather conditions are again challenging. It is so challenging sometimes you may lose patience. This is where you learn, you practice from now itself how to be patient. Start looking at people and start thinking, looking at the goodness in them. So inshallah ta'ala, it'll help you be polite towards each other. At the Jamarat, it's generally crowded. Be patient. Do not throw anything other than the pebbles. People get excited and start throwing their shoes, sandals, etc. Remember, you lose your sandals, then you have to walk in the hot sun. It's not necessary. It is simply not necessary. You should not also throw the pebbles from far away because it might end up hitting a guest of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You don't want to do that. So try to get as close to the well of the Jamarat before you throw the pebbles, inshallah ta'ala. So this is something to keep in mind. Again, avoid going individually. Avoid going individually for Tawaful Ifada. Plan with your guide, etc. Do not venture out individually. I will keep re-emphasizing because as much as we tried to keep emphasizing last year, we had at least 2 cases where people ventured out, they got lost, and when they came back, they had severe sunburn and they were down for about 4 to 5 days after that. You don't want to lose this opportunity to be there and do your own Rami, do your own Tawaful Ifada, etc. I mean, do all those things on your own, inshallah ta'ala. You don't want to lose that one. Okay. So this is 11th of Dhul Hijjah. 12th of Dhul Hijjah, you'd again do the Rami of all the 3 Jamarat after Dawal. Okay. After the Dhuhr Salah, again the same routine. You need to depart Mina area before sunset. It's very important if you're not planning on staying over on the 13th of Dhul Hijjah in Mina, you need to make sure you depart Mina before sunset. Our group, our guides will depart on the 12th of Dhul Hijjah. If somebody decides to stay on 13th of Dhul Hijjah, yes, the camp will be there. Yes, the service provider will be making still the arrangements there. Yes, some buses will be running, but our guidance will not be there on the 13th of Dhul Hijjah. Please bear this in mind while you're planning this one. So, but if you do end up staying on sunset, after sunset in Mina, you need to spend the night and you need to perform the Rami on the 13th of Dhul Hijjah. It's a requirement, basically. It becomes a requirement. The same conditions. Weather conditions are so hard. Avoid getting upset with each other, basically. Okay, so these are the days of the Mashaer. We are going to get a lot more into detail, inshallah ta'ala. But on the information that I have shared so far, I would like to open up the floor for questions, inshallah ta'ala. Brother Wasim, what do we have?
Gee, there are some questions in the chat. So if anybody has questions they would like to ask themselves, raise your hands. Otherwise, I'll go through the questions in the chat, inshallah. The first question is, what day do we do Umrah when we reach Makkah? So which day do we do Umrah?
As soon as you reach there, you do the Umrah. You don't want to wait for longer. So as soon as you reach there, either you can go in a smaller group among your own smaller group, or the guides will be there. The service provider also will have some people who can guide you to go and perform the Umrah. So because you are already going to be in the state of Ihram, and you want to go perform the Umrah and then come out of the state of Ihram. So you want to do the Umrah as quickly as possible, as soon as you get into your hotel. Once you reach your hotel, you settle down, etc. It's probably the best thing to start thinking about doing Umrah. Now, if you get into the middle of the day, our recommendation is do not perform Umrah immediately. The best thing to do Umrah is after Isha Salah or from Isha Salah until about a little bit after Fajr Salah. The daytime is extremely hot. Okay, it is very hot. the time from Asr to about Isha time, it gets very difficult to get inside the haram because of the crowd. So that's where our recommendation is, if you have to perform Umrah, do it after Isha until about Fajr time, and maybe you can also do the Umrah after Fajr Salah when the weather is still cooler and the crowd will have reduced around the haram, inshallah.
Your next question is, what do we do in case of if there's an emergency in Arafah, Mina, or Muzdalifah?
What's the question? What do we do? What?
If there is an emergency in
Mhm.
Arafah, Muzdalifah, and Mina. That's all it says. It doesn't say what emergency, so it just
Yeah,
says
if
that.
it's a medical emergency, mashallah, they have very good arrangements there. Okay, there are clinics all around Arafat as well as in Mina. As soon as you let your guide know, the guide will let the medical. There is a clinic in every camp, by the way. Okay, so they will inform the clinic, and the clinic will take whatever necessary action. If an ambulance is required, they will get an ambulance also. So generally, medical services are pretty good in both Mina and Arafat. If you're referring to some other emergency, such as you have to rush back or something, that is something you'll have to work with your guide at that point in time.
Next question is, what terminal is Saudi Airlines in IAD airport?
What's the question, Brother Wasim?
What's the terminal? I think it's Terminal 1 for Saudi Airlines in IAD. But for every airline, on your tickets, when you have the ticket number, you have to look it up.
Right.
Sometimes they move around. So, but usually it's Terminal 1, I think. Yeah.
Right. I mean, again, I agree with Brother Wasim. I don't want you to always think it's Terminal 1 because you have to look at your airline and you need to look up the information at that point in time. But it is IAD.
Yeah. I'll call some hands that are up. So what I will do is, inshallah, I'm going to allow unmuting. But what I request everybody to do is don't unmute yourself until I call your name. If I call your name, please unmute yourself. So the first person is Syed, who has a question. You can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Assalamu alaikum.
Islam, Brother Syed.
I have a couple of questions. First question is, when you say guide, is it like you are referring to a guide from Precious Path, or it's the one that shows on your Nusuk website?
Good question. Good question, Brother Syed. Okay, I am referring to the Precious Path Guide. Though, as I have explained in the post several times, and I've reposted that several times, what Nusuk has a process. Okay, Nusuk and service provider has a process where they have to assign all their guides to a package. Okay, so that's where they will assign a guide to a package, but you are registered with Precious Path, which is with Farid Ahmed's group, basically. Okay. So you are going to be under the guidance of Farid Ahmed's team, basically.
Okay.
Okay.
And the other question, it's not related to this webinar. It's like my withdrawal. So I actually started the withdrawal process. It seems like the website, it asks for a IBAN proof, which like my Chase Bank doesn't have. Like in US, there is no IBAN, right? So what should I upload there? Because without uploading that proof, I cannot move forward. It doesn't let me do that. I have the receipt, but IBAN proof section. So I open a case with the Nosok. I interacted with at least 4 to 5 like those customer service guys, and they are just keep on sending me the steps how to get a refund or a withdrawal. They are not explaining me how to move forward with that.
Brother Syed, did you send the money by bank?
Yes, I did a wire
Okay.
transfer.
Okay. In the US banks, you don't use IBAN. You use I'm trying
Swift
to recall.
code. It's called Swift code.
Exactly. Okay. So in that one, there are two types. You got to be very careful. Okay. There is one which is coming in foreign currency. Nusuk will only send the money back in the foreign currency. You need to use the code that relates to that one. Otherwise, it'll again get into a problem for you. Okay. So the SWIFT code that says for foreign currency, that's the one you should provide to Nusuk.
Yeah, that I understand. But my question is, on the withdrawal page, right? There are one field where it says that you need to upload a IBAN proof, and then there is one field where it said upload the bank receipt. I have the bank receipt, but I don't have the IBAN proof, right?
You
Yeah,
basically, okay, basically what you do is you ask the bank to provide the letter that has the SWIFT code in it. That's what you upload there. They do accept SWIFT code, by the way. Nusuk will accept the SWIFT code. They know about the IBAN not being available in all the countries. So upload the letter that has the SWIFT code of the bank, and they will accept that one. Okay.
okay.
You need to ask the bank to issue the letter that has a SWIFT code as well as your bank account and your name on it. Okay. These are the things, name and address. So your name and address, the SWIFT code for the foreign currency, and your account number. All this should be on the letter, and just upload that.
Okay. And just one more question. The last question is it allowed to use like a lanyard on your glasses to hold your glasses? Is it okay to use it?
Oh, the lanyard. Okay. As far as I know, yes. Okay. But definitely you can raise that question. As far as I know, yes, you can do that one. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Right?
Jazakallah.
Yeah. I mean, my request for the rest of the people, try to limit the question that is related to the topic, because there's a lot of material I have shared today. I really want everyone that I've shared today, unless I've done a great job, okay, which I don't believe I have. I know my limitations. So I want the concentration of the question to be on the material shared today. Please do understand, we only have 3 weeks left. And the material that I'm sharing, this is your lifeline. Okay. These are the things that you need to understand, you need to learn, you need to make sure you understand this one. So if possible, limit to this one. Of course, we'll answer other questions also, but try to limit to this topic. Okay. Go ahead, please.
Next question on the chat is no assisted wheelchair means that we have to push our own family member. Is that correct?
That's correct. That is correct. That is correct. In the haram, yes, there is assisted this one, but outside of haram, there is no assisted wheelchair available.
The next is a question saying that can we have the duas on a PDF for Mashaer? What duas to ask on different Mashaer days?
We are going to collect and release that, inshallah. But there are
Next one
lots of other things, but we will try to collect and release also, inshallah. Yes.
says I have received the visa this week, but my wife says visa under processing.
Fine. Because remember, even though you submitted all as one account, but the way Nusuk processes, they process individually. Okay. So it is just probably, as they're saying, it is in processing. So don't worry about it. Inshallah, it should be fine.
Next hand up, it says IA. You can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. The question I have, you just mentioned that you're not going to have a service on the third day of the Masharik, means the day 13. I just want to know why, because that's extra. Actually, it's, I know in the Quran, فَمَنْ تَعَجَّلَ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ. So I just want to understand why you are saying it from here, that you're not going to have the service on the third day of Masharik.
Okay.
Jazakumullah khair.
Barakallah. Okay, the reason is because the majority, actually 90% or so of the people, will have moved out of Mina to the hotels. We have to go with them so that we can guide them properly. Okay, so the most of the services will still be there. Okay, the camp will still have the services. The camp will still be there, as I said. The food supply will still be there. Okay, the people who are running the camp will still be there. I was referring to the guides will have moved with the larger group to the hotel, because getting the people out of Mina before sunset on the 12th is not easy. Okay, so the guides will be working on getting them. So I was only referring to the guides will not be in the camps, but the rest of the services will still be there. Okay, sister, did I answer your question? If not, please go ahead and ask me again.
Yes, you did. That part, I totally understand it. And I was like referring that now you explain it to me. I know what is the logistic behind it, but is it possible to leave at least one guide with the people are looking to stay the third day of Masharik?
No, sister, it's not possible. The reason is, as I said, each guide, every 45 people are assigned one guide. That guide has to make sure those 45, let's say 3 people stay back, those 40 plus people have to get back out of Mina and into the hotel. Again, in spite of all the best intentions that everybody has there, things do not go as planned. So the guide becomes responsible or takes the responsibility of making sure to get the people out of Mina into the hotel. It's not easy. Okay. So it's very difficult for us to leave a guide behind.
جزاكم الله خيرا كثيرا. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Yeah, on that point, there will be service provider will have some people there. Yeah, they will have arrangements there. But yeah, that's what Farid was mentioning from our team's perspective. So yeah, inshallah, next hand up is Sadiq.
Hello, assalamu alaikum. I had 2 or 3 questions. One was, what time do we travel from Medina to Makkah? So will that be right after Fajr or later in the day? What's the
That is
typical?
That is something going to be decided later, Brother Sadiq. There is no such thing as, there is no specific time. Depending on how the service provider makes the arrangements, then we will find out that later, inshallah ta'ala.
Yeah, the reason I was asking is when do we do Umrah is that was why I was thinking.
Again, no matter what time you come, you should follow the guidelines I mentioned earlier. Avoid doing the Umrah during the daytime or even from Asr to Isha time, because getting into the Haram will be extremely difficult because of the crowd. So just wait out until a little bit after Isha time to do the Umrah.
Okay. On the 12th of Dhul Hijjah, typically what time do the service providers, do they pick us up from the Mina and take us to the hotel?
Yes.
How does that work?
Again, 12th of Dhul Hijjah is a big challenge. The reason is because as per our guidance that we have from our scholars, you need to do the Rami after Zawal.
Yes.
Okay. So, but the service provider will start the bus service in the morning. Okay. Not just the service provider, the ministry does this one. Okay. So it does become a bit of a challenge for us who want to do this the right way. Okay, I want to be careful. The right way, meaning what our scholars have explained to us. Okay, that is even on the 12th of Dhul Hijjah, you need to do the Rami after Zawal. So we want to wait until after Zawal, but the bus service will start in the morning. The service provider will accommodate some of the people that want to go a little bit later. Now, the way we overcome this is we will take the bus service in the morning without doing the Rami and go back to the hotels, like especially if you are in the Azizia. Then from Azizia, we come to Rami and perform the Rami, or even if people are near Haram, we recommend that they go back to the hotel and then as group, individually as groups, okay, come from the hotel and perform the Rami after the Dhuhr Salah. Okay, so we work with our hujjaj to see how we can make this best possible arrangement, because we don't want to take the buses in the morning and not perform the Rami, or we cannot recommend our people to perform the Rami in the morning and then take the buses, because in our view, in our information that we have, that is not the correct way to do the Rami. Okay, so to answer your question, we do take the bus in the morning back to the hotel, and then from the hotels we come back and perform the Rami after
Yeah.
Zawal.
Yeah, Jazakallah, that clears. But the bus will pick up from the Mina camp, right? Not from Jamarat.
No, from the Mina camp, not Jamarat.
Okay.
There is no bus service from the Jamarat. Please be I want to make it very clear. There is no bus service from the Jamarat. It is from the Mina camp, and there is no bus service from the Al Mawsam camp to the Jamarat.
Okay. So from the hotel, wherever in Azizia or from the Haram, will there be a bus service or we just have to walk all the way and
You have to
do
walk.
the
You
Rami?
have to walk. There is no bus service.
Okay. You also mentioned that we have to be back in Mina by Maghrib. Um, is that a necessity? Maybe, or can we come back by Isha is what I'm saying. So let's say on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, we do the Rami, we go to the hotel. We are not doing the tawaf, but we stay in the hotel till Maghrib and then walk back.
No. I meant you need to be back by night time. Okay, not
Okay.
necessarily by Maghrib time. Okay.
Okay.
As per the rulings, it is best to be back by sunset. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? But if
I
you're
understand.
doing your tawaf al-ifada, etc., that is understandable. But if you're just relaxing and having other things, that is not the best thing to do, at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will we be celebrating Eid together and getting a
Yes.
taste of your food?
My
I saw
food,
some pictures. I saw some
my,
pictures.
I'm not going to be cooking there, brother. You don't want me to be cooking there.
Just kidding. Well, it's okay.
Okay. Okay.
So one more question. Will the groups that will be made, right? So you have said 45 people and a guide person assigned,
Right.
right? Will that be as per the service provider or it will be just random? Okay, all
No,
these.
we are going to do it based on the hotels. Okay. We have already started forming some groups. Like for example, Zone A hotels, we already formed a WhatsApp group. We are going to do the same thing for the IBIS. We are going to do the same thing for
Other hotels.
Millennium, and then we'll do the same thing for Imara Noor and Holiday Inn. Okay. So we are going to do the WhatsApp group separately for each one of these groups.
Okay.
Okay, we are working through some of the details, and inshallah ta'ala, we'll complete and we'll invite people into each individual WhatsApp groups.
All right. Jazakallah khair.
Okay.
Next hand up is Fikriya.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
Fikri, 1 minute. Okay, Brother Wasim, you want to go with Fikriya first, right? Fikriya needs to unmute.
Yeah, yes, please. Okay, next one is Earthling Kareem.
Yeah, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, brother.
Yeah, so I have a quick question. Like in the supplies list, it says like sleeping bag, and so on and so on. Where would we need the sleeping bag? Like earlier, you were
Actually,
saying you don't need to bring.
yeah, actually, you should ignore that one. Sorry about it. That is something that would have been required originally, previously, but in the last few years, sleeping bag which would be needed is in Muzdalifah. But in Muzdalifah, they are actually providing sleeping bags there. Plus, in Muzdalifah, you're there only few hours. You don't want to be carrying the sleeping bag all over. Even if you don't have sleeping bag, there are carpets there. You should just be able to lay down there. I would not suggest carrying a sleeping bag with you. Okay. A sleeping bag is provided in Mina, by the way, okay, by the service provider. You could take that to Muzdalifah.
Oh, okay. That's good. Okay.
Okay.
Jazakallah khair.
But, okay.
Next hand up is Amanullah.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
How are you, brother?
Alhamdulillah.
I have a couple of questions. So the first one is, I have a question about the hadith. So let's say if I pay the deposit, right? So I want to know, like, what time over there we're gonna know to shave our head in order to, like, we know that it happened or it didn't happen. Is there like a timing, or you guys gonna call us?
Brother Amanullah, have you been reading my post on this one? I mean, because this has been detailed in the webinars, in the
No.
post.
I read it. It says that 9:30. So before like
10 o'clock,
9:30.
we are going to start the process. And as the Hadi is done, in the WhatsApp group, the names will be broadcast. Okay. So
Oh,
you need to basically look in the WhatsApp group. And if your name comes in, that means you're ready to perform the next step, basically shaving the head or trimming of the hair and coming out of the hair.
Oh, okay. And another thing is, when will they send out like the tickets, the flight tickets? I haven't
Uh,
received it.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question?
When will we receive our flight tickets?
Flight tickets. Okay. Flight tickets, as per the service provider, you should start receiving it a few weeks before the travel time. So I am thinking in the first week of May, you should start seeing your travel tickets.
Oh, okay. And another question was like the supply list. I looked for it everywhere. I couldn't find it. So I was like, where can I find the supply list as well?
Oh, supplies list. If you look on the on my back, in that orange color, that is the link, and as well as the QR code. I knew people would ask this question, so I have it right in my background.
Oh, okay. So I'll just go from this QR code. Okay.
Please, please.
Okay. Thank you so much. And sorry for asking the same question. I just want to double
No,
confirm with
no.
the.
You know, I rather you ask the question than not ask the question and be confused and get the
Oh,
wrong information.
thank
So
you
please
so much. I
understand.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
Brother.
I might sound frustrated, but I'm not frustrated. It is
Oh,
just
okay.
that I want people to start reading the post because it's much easier for us to relay our information
Yeah,
through the WhatsApp.
yeah. I read the post, but I just did want to double confirm with you.
Go ahead. Next.
Next hand up is Iftikhar Islam.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum. So
Brother
my
Iftikhar.
question is, I have a Makkah first package, and our check-in date in Medina is on 9th of June. Is it overlapping with the 12th of Dhul Hijjah, or can you confirm?
It is it's going to be a tight squeeze there. Actually, we understand this is a bit of a challenge. It's going to be. Let me just quickly give me a minute.
You can also answer it later. It's fine.
Yeah, I will answer this later. It is, unfortunately, it's a very, very tight squeeze, okay? The way that one is arranged. But inshallah ta'ala, it'll work out. You know, we have seen it, it does work out somehow or the other, but it is a tight squeeze, okay? So 9th of June 9th is actually the 12th of Dhul Hijjah approximately, one way or the other. But the service provider generally will make the arrangement in that case where they will take you the next day to Medina. But they will not extend the days because they cannot extend the hotels.
Yeah, okay. Inshallah, Allah
Okay.
will make it easy for us. Thank you. Jazakallah.
Correct.
Next hand up is Salman.
Assalamu
Assalamu
alaikum.
alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sister.
Yes, I have a question. Is there any requirement of registration for Precious Path as well?
No, you register with us so that you know we have your information. We use your information for generating our list. We use your information for tracking. We use your information for lots of things. Plus, we use it for different things that we are gonna like Hadi. Okay, we use
Okay.
it. So that's all that is required.
And I am registered, right? Because I am in this group, so it means that I'm already registered, or should I
That means you are
actually have
already.
to?
If you are receiving our messages, you are in, sister.
If I'm in this group chat, then I am registered.
You are in. You are registered. Yes.
And another thing is, I have received an email in Arabic from Nusok where it says that the guide has been assigned to us. So this is the guide that I will be looking out for when we get there.
No, sister, I have explained this multiple times in the last webinars as well as in the group chat. Okay. You need to ignore that message that you're receiving. It's part of the process that Nusuk goes through to issue visas to the guides, basically. Okay. So your guide will be somebody from my team as long as you're registered with my team.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Next, please.
Next hand up is Yazdani.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Islam.
I just want to confirm, like,
what if we want to stay in Mina for those 3 days? We don't want to go back to a hotel. How do we communicate and coordinate with you, with the group?
You mean you want to stay back on the 10th, 11th, and 12th?
Yes.
Oh, our guide will be there. You just tell the guide, that's all. I mean, you don't need to tell anybody. Our guide will be there.
Okay.
Okay? Our guide will be there, and you do want to go to Tawaf al-Ifada, and you'll work with the guide whenever the guide has some plans of taking the groups to there, basically. Okay. The Tawaf al-Ifada, I want to re-emphasize, is a huge challenge. We don't want anybody to be stuck in the middle. So please work with a guide. The guide is going to try to figure out what's the best way to take you to Tawaf al-Ifada. So use their guidance, and inshallah ta'ala, we will all be safe, inshallah.
Yeah, I mean, on that topic, you don't have to go to your hotel. Rather, it is better to stay in Mina as much as possible. And only those hotels that are close to Jamarat, you could potentially go. If your hotel is actually close to Haram, you might actually not be able to go logistically. It's very hard to go. So yeah, just keep that in mind.
To Brother
Next,
Wasim, to Brother Wasim's point, even if it's in Azizia, it is much easier if you just stay in the camp. I'm telling you this because otherwise, going to the hotel, coming back from there, that adds another mile of walk back to the camp. So if you don't need to, if there is no medical condition or physical condition, you may as well just walk back to the camp. Okay. Again, one other thing: if you go to your hotel, you will be coming back from the hotel back to the camp on your own. Remember that, okay? Because the group is not going to make that arrangement of guiding you from your hotel back to the camp. The group will be taking the group to the Jamarat and bringing them back to the Mina camp. That's how the plan works, okay? Next question, Brother Wasim.
next hand up, it says iPhone.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, brother.
Hey, my name is Mohammed. I just have, two questions. It is possible, I don't know if you mentioned this, maybe I didn't hear you, but it is possible to have a daily schedule, where we can have as a reference, on a daily basis. So at least we can follow that schedule hourly, without any issue.
Daily schedule, I think I'm trying to understand what you're saying. It's not going to be, we are not going to have schedule by an hourly kind of scenario. It is basically, what do we do on the 9th of Dhul Hijjah, on the 10th, 11th, 12th,
Yes.
13th, at a high
Yes.
level. That's all we do. What I shared now is our schedule.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
We are not going to do this hourly because we are not there to guide you by the hour. Please understand that you can do things on your own, and you want the flexibility. Okay. We are going to give you the overall guidance and overall schedule, saying that we are going to go after Fajr Salat for Tawaf al-Ifada. We are going to inform you of that. Okay. Each guide will inform within their own group that, hey, after Fajr Salat, we all will go to Tawaf al-Ifada. Okay. We're going to go to Rami at 4 o'clock. Let's all be ready to go. That's how it's going to
Okay.
work.
That's
Okay.
fine. Thank you. Second question is possible for me to add another phone number to the group chat?
Is that your own or some other person?
No, it's mine. I have two.
Yeah. Of course you can. Just message either Brother Wasim or I. We'll take
Okay.
care of it.
Okay. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Next hand up is
Assalamualaikum, brother.
one sister. We are calling out in the sequence, inshallah. So if you want to please raise your hand, inshallah, I will call in the order in which people have raised hands. So next hand up, inshallah, is Fez.
Brother Faiz, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, Farid bhai and Wasim bhai. So I posted the question in the chat. I have two questions. First is as we arrive in Makkah, alhamdulillah, our first is Makkah. So because we'll be traveling together, me and my wife, can we just start our Umrah if we're experienced and have done it before, or should we? Because
Absolutely.
I remember. Okay, cool.
Absolutely. I mean, please understand one thing. I mean, I want to take this opportunity to say, we are there to guide you. We are not there to either to restrict you or to say that this is the only way to do it. We are not there to do that. We are there in case if you need help. We are there to plan things, saying that, hey, this group is going now, if you want to join them. But if somebody, as Brother Faiz mentioned, if you know what you're doing, if you are aware of it, as long as you are comfortable that you're not going to risk yourself. Brother Faiz, I want to make sure I make that clear, right? As long as you don't put yourself at a risk, you know how to get there and come back safely to the hotel, please go ahead and do it. No problem.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure. I had a second question. Can I ask now or come later?
Yeah, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
So the second question is of traveling from Makkah to Medina. If it's in the train, I've seen the luggage requirements are not very like traditional. It says 65 centimeters for the luggage bag, and I do not have any. So do you suggest we just purchase smaller bags, or is there a way out?
I'm sorry, what's the question, Faiz? I mean, purchase what?
So because the luggage requirements for the Haramain
Right,
train is
right.
not a traditional one. So the normal bags are 75 centimeters, the big luggage bags, but it
Yeah.
says only 65 centimeters is allowed. So do you suggest I just get smaller bags?
I would definitely suggest getting smaller bag, but they are not very strict in terms of the centimeters and inches there, okay? But I would definitely suggest traveling as light as possible because it does get very difficult, okay? Not just that, then the all the transportation, the movement around and everything, it becomes very difficult. One thing you can always consider is take a smaller bag. On the way back, if you're buying things, you can always buy a suitcase there.
Makes sense. Jazakallah khair.
Okay.
Yeah, just on that topic, one point to highlight is that if you do get stopped, and what they will do is they will make you basically ship it. The cost is not very high. I mean, but the only challenge, it doesn't come with you the same time to your destination. So you might have to go the next day back to the train station to get your bags. So
Yeah.
just keep that in mind,
And
Shah.
depending on when you get there, if you have enough time or not, it just becomes a challenge, you know. So avoid it
Sure.
if you can.
Okay. No.
Next hand up is, let's see, Akram.
Brother Akram, salam. Walaikum salam.
So for the Medina first packages from Jeddah to Medina, there was a couple of different things mentioned. It'll either be by bus or by train. Do we have confirmation on which one it will be?
Not yet, brother. We have not gotten all those logistics details yet. Rawaf had said that they are working very hard on making the arrangement by the train, but we don't have a confirmation yet on that.
Jazakallah khair.
Okay.
Okay. I think these are the names I already called out. So I don't know if unless somebody asks raise their hands again. But Fikriya, Sadiq, or Salman, is it second time or this time from before?
I had
Actually,
a
I
couple.
have another question.
Brother Wasim, I had follow-up questions. If the sister can go first, I can ask after that.
Okay.
Thank you. So I have a question about the SIM. Do we have to have a separate SIM for the phones over there?
Can we have a separate SIM? I mean, you mean you want to replace your SIM with another SIM? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, so our US phone, will it work over there, or do we have to change
The
the SIM over there in order
my
for the phone to work?
my recommendation is try to see if your service provider in United States would extend you the international service. Okay, like I have a T-Mobile. T-Mobile allows international service, so I have data service there, no calling service, but my WhatsApp will work for messaging and some of the other apps, even some of the apps that I can use to make calls will work there on T-Mobile service. So I don't need to get a local SIM card, but generally being a guide, we probably will get a SIM card because there are many times we have to make local calls. Okay. But otherwise, if you do not have the need to make local calls, phone calls, you can just use your international service and just have it extended for as an international service.
Okay.
Okay.
And one more thing.
If you want, just I'm sorry, Sister Sumaya, if you do want to get another SIM card, the best option is to look for eSIM card. Okay, so that you don't have to physically swap your SIM card. You can get the eSIM. Most of the phones these days will support the eSIM, so that you can keep your SIM as well as add an additional SIM card to that one service. There
Okay.
are several.
No, I think our my plan also will cover internationally because it's T-Mobile as well. I was not sure about the Saudi laws services. Next question is, do we have to carry a backpack to the for the camp, or because I heard that they also provide some bags, so just making sure we don't overpack.
I mean, they provide a backpack once you arrive into your hotel. Yes, but that's one of the things that the service provider has. But again, it depends on if you feel like you have your own backpack that has more compartments, more that you're more comfortable with. Yeah, you should consider your own backpack, or you can use their backpack. It's your call, really.
Okay.
My point was when you go to Mina, carry a backpack rather than carrying a small suitcase and other things. Travel as light as possible when you go to Mina camp.
Okay, Jazakallah. Thank you.
Okay, Brother Sadia?
Yeah. My question was will we have lectures or seminars during the Mashaer days or during the Mina days before Hajj going to Mina?
We are working on that, brother. We are going to try and do that. We are running into some challenges with the number of visas we are able to get. Okay, that has upset us in a little bit. We are working to see how we can recover from it. Okay, and by the way, I just to let everybody know, Brother Wasim, who is very quiet type of person, but is actually going to be an alim very soon.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Mabruk. Anyway, so the other question is, you mentioned the walk from Al Mosim camp to the Jamarat. I believe there are tunnels that take us through, right? They
That
directly
is
take
correct.
us onto the third floor.
That
That's
is
where you
correct.
would
There
land
are
up.
tunnels. So the tunnels, there are about 7 or 8 tunnels, and Alhamdulillah, so you do get some relief basically. Okay, and the tunnels have fans, etc. So going through that area makes life a little bit easier in the hot weather condition. But including going through the tunnels is where the distance we calculate and provide.
Okay. How is the walk back from the hotel to Jamarat for doing Rami on the 12th?
Actually, if your hotel is, if you're staying in Millennium, Holiday Inn, or Ibis, Millennium is right like about a mile or so from the Jamarat. It's very easy. Holiday Inn, for example, is just mile and a quarter. Ibis is about mile and a little bit more mile, maybe mile and a half. Okay, it's very easy. It's much easier to do it that way than to do the rummy and then go back to the camp and then try to come back to the hotel.
Okay. I meant in terms of crowd, how
It's not very crowded. Most of the people, unfortunately, I mean, I want to say unfortunately, will have performed the rummy before in the morning itself.
I see. Okay. Jazakallah.
Okay. Brother Wasim, are there lots of questions that in the chat? Do we need to cover anything?
In the chat, basically, one question that I've seen quite often is that people asking, how do I join the sisters group? And the other is people are asking, can you add my number to the Hajj group? So if you can talk about both, it's just the sisters group and how the regular WhatsApp group also, if you can talk about
For
that.
the sisters group, you can either message me directly or there is a Precious Path number that you can message, and I'll pass that number on to the sister that is coordinating, Sister Samina, and she will invite you into the sisters group after confirming that your number is in our support form, because we are making sure that they're very particular about making sure only sisters join that group, because they ask it is open to personal questions, etc. So they want to make sure it's only sisters are there. Okay, so that's one. What is the other question, Brother Wasim? Brother Wasim, you said there are two questions.
Yeah, the other is like how to add to the regular WhatsApp group. I think people are saying, can you add me to the Hajj group?
Well, as long as you are in our support form, we have added you. If your number is in our support form, and if we have not added you, message Brother Wasim Arai. We will review it, and if it is there, we will add you to the Haji group. To be added to the Haji group, you have to be in our support form.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Islam, sister.
My question is that when we arrive in Jeddah, how are we going to our hotel we have to arrange the for ourselves the bus, we going by bus, taxi, how are we going to go over there?
Okay. You don't have to arrange yourself. It will be arranged by the service provider. If you are going from Jeddah to Medina, either your arrangement will be by bus or by train. If you're going to Makkah from the Jeddah airport, your arrangement will be by bus, and we will get you more details, very specific details as to when you arrive in Jeddah or Medina. How do you go to the counter where the service provider is, who will take care of you immediately after that, inshallah. Just give us a few more weeks. We are going to get you the information. We'll show you in a video how you walk out of it and get to the counter. Just relax on that part.
Okay. I have one more question. If
ahead,
we
sister.
lost or anything in like Mina and Arafah, how we can contact with the guide? By
Your
phone
guide,
or something?
your guide will be with you. I mean,
But
you
he
know, the
says
guide is
he
going to be
have 45 people together in the group.
there will be a group chat for the guide. Okay, and the guide number will be available to you. You can contact your guide anytime. I mean, listen, you're all going to become one family, sister. Please understand that. Okay, you are going to become one family. It's not like 45 people means the guide is going to be lost there. Okay, the guide is going to be very closely working with you there.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Jazakallah.
On the topic of the luggage, I mean, we do recommend putting like a air tag in your bags so that you can track it in case if you leave it somewhere, it's easier to go back to the shelf.
In our supplies list, we have added this, and this is the reason for because there is, you know, we can lose things, right? So consider getting those air tags, you know, so that you can put it on your bag so that we can easily track it at that point in time.
Yeah, for Android, I think you have to use Tile or something like that. But for iPhone, you can use AirTags. On the chat, Farid bhai, there is a question about how long is the walk from Arafah, Mina to Arafah. So I think if you can clarify that we are only talking about walking from Muzdalifah to Mina and not to the other
Please
walks.
do not even consider walking from Mina to Arafat. Please don't do that. I know people have tried to do it. I know people get excited. People want to do that one. It's a very long walk, and it's about 14 plus kilometers. That's about 11 to 12 miles. And you do not want to do that because uh, the location of the camp may not be clear. We don't want you to be lost there. Remember, it's an open field. It's a desert. It's an open field. It's a desert with the heat coming from bottom as well as from the top. It is, folks, I want to keep re-emphasizing, please do not do anything that would risk your life. Do not try to be macho, saying that I can do it. I have climbed mountains. I've gone here. I've gone there. I can do it. Please do not take the risk here. These conditions are very extremely challenging conditions. Okay. Please do not do that one. Okay. So the walk I'm only referring to is from Muzdalifah to Mina, and only because it's like about less than 2 miles. It's like about 1.6 to 1.7 miles, but everybody will be walking, and only because it's going to be immediately after Fajr Salah when the weather conditions are not hot. If it was any other condition, I would not recommend walking. Okay.
There's some fiqh questions, inshallah. So for those fiqh questions, I would recommend if you can fill out the form. We had a Q&A form. There's some questions around, like in some other schools of thought. If you happen to touch a person of the opposite gender, your wudu breaks, so how you handle tawaf in those scenarios. So inshallah, if you fill out the Q&A, inshallah, we'll address that inshallah separately, inshallah. We don't want to confuse everybody with that, inshallah. So, but otherwise, let me see. Have we missed any questions? People have asked, do we need flashlights when we are there?
Not really. I mean, not really, because the only place I would think you'd need a flashlight is in Muzdalifah, but Muzdalifah is also fairly lit. And by the time you get to Muzdalifah, you are exhausted and you just want to sleep. You're not going to be walking around, but it is fairly well lit also. Okay. So I don't believe you need a flashlight, but it's your choice.
Yeah, you can use the flash in your phone and do carry a charger, like one of our supplies. This item is to have a power bank. You can use that to keep your phone charged, and if needed, you can use the phone pack. Let's see. There is, yeah, I forgot to pay the $50 deposit for Hadi. Is it possible to do it now?
Yeah, please. As long as you are on our list of hadiths, you should be doing it as quickly as possible, because by the end of next week, we want to finalize our list. Okay. We want to get this thing as quickly as possible. Okay.
There are some questions around the schools of thought and also about which kind of Hajj. Again, we will do Hajj Tamattu, but I mean, everybody is free to follow. Like if you want to do Hajj, for example, Ifrad or Qiran, whatever it is, you are free to do your own type of Hajj. Also, schools of thought. If you follow different schools of thought, I mean, we are not forcing anybody to do certain things a certain way. So you will follow your school of thought as you go, inshallah.
Yeah. Our guidance is, we follow as closely as possible to what we understand from our scholars as the Sunnah. Okay. Our scholars generally we follow, as I said, Mufti Ahmed, Mufti Muhammad, and they are very well versed in all the four madhabs. Yes, we do follow one of, as long as it's within the four madhabs, we follow it pretty much. Okay. And in some of the rulings, we go with what we consider, what we find out is the most recommended approach. We try to take that approach. Okay. Again, to Brother Wasim's point, that's what we make the arrangements about what we do. We are not going to force someone to do one way or the other. It is purely, it's up to you. We will provide the guidance. I saw a question if the guide will be there from the time you perform the Umrah until the completion. Yeah, guide will be there, but the guide is not going to tell you everything that you should be doing. They're going to give you the general guidelines, and they'll try to take you to the Umrah, guide you wherever possible. But the guide is not there to tell you every step of the way what you should do. That is something we give you the freedom. You want to have the freedom to do things differently. Okay.
There's a question about Nusuk app and how to get the appointment for Roda.
Information on that one. We'll release a guideline on how to do it, inshallah ta'ala, in the next few weeks, because at this point in time, the Rauda, you cannot schedule the Rauda because Rauda does not open up until a few weeks before the timeline. So at this time, it's not available, but we will, inshallah ta'ala, we have a document, we'll release it, inshallah ta'ala, on how to do it.
Yes, there's a question about should we carry our own Quran or, yeah, so should we carry our own Quran from home?
And, if you're comfortable with reading a certain copy of the Quran, yes, you should. But they generally in the backpack, the Quran is included. But I would recommend carrying your own Quran. Yes.
Yeah, supplies. Yeah, people have asked about. Yeah, you can buy some things in Azizia and Medina as well. But again, when you're traveling there, the more prepared you are in general, the better, because you don't want to waste your time in shopping. You want to engage in Umrah and Ibadah there as much as possible. So whatever you can prepare from here, you can take. There is a question about, do you not advise to go for Tawaf on the 10th of Zulhijjah? So
I'm sorry, what's the question, Brother Wasim?
So yeah, do you not advise going on the 10th of Zulhijjah?
Well, the only reason for Tawaful Ifada we don't recommend 10th is because lots of people will be trying to go there. Okay. and you are doing multiple things on 10th of Dhul Hijjah. You are coming from Muzdalifah, you are performing Rami, you are waiting for Hadi to be completed, you are doing the Qasr, okay? You're doing the shaving of the head or the trimming of the hair, coming out of Ihram. There are a lot of things going on, okay? And since lots of people try to go there, it'll be extremely difficult. It limits, all this thing comes in like almost 12, 1 o'clock by the time you're done with all these things, they're coming out of Ihram, etc., and then rushing out there and then coming back from there. The biggest challenge is coming back from Tawaf al-Ifada to the Mina camp. That's where people run into the biggest difficulty. So that's why we are recommending on the 11th. We want to try and do it on the 11th as seamlessly as possible, preferably like immediately after Fajr Salah. We want to go do the Tawaf al-Ifada and come back. That's what we are going to try to guide as much as possible, inshallah. Okay. Wasim, can we wrap up or do we have anything more significant?
Yeah, I think mostly all the questions. I think there was question about somebody sharing the experience from last time. What I can just say is for each scenario where your bus got late or, for each of those questions, inshallah, you can ask the scholars in the, inshallah, we'll open up the scholars list, inshallah. So you can ask that question, if I get late, what happens and all that stuff, right? So there is a lot of nuances in each scenario where you get late, what happens and how late you can be and how late is okay. We
But
don't want to
I have one
get
question before we wrap up. Salam alaikum.
Okay. Yeah. So just keep that in mind that inshallah the service provider is responsible for making sure that you get places at time. You're going to leave, for example, after Maghrib from Arafah, but by the time you reach, it will be night. So as long as you're spending the night there, and you're then inshallah we'll try to leave after sunrise inshallah for that question. And
Brother,
then
brother Wasim, I have one question when you finish.
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
You finish?
Yes.
Go ahead, Brother Mark.
Okay. Salam alaikum to Brother Farid. So my question is, we're gonna arrive Jeddah 9:30 p.m. So from there we will go to Medina. So how long it's gonna take from Jeddah to Medina? And so is it gonna be if it's bus or train? So that's one my question. Second question is, what time is the checkout from hotel? For example, our departure is on our flight is 7:30 on the 14th. So what time we're gonna be check out from the hotel and how we're gonna get to the airport?
Right. The first question is about Jeddah Airport to Medina. If you're going by train, it's about an hour. Okay. If you're going by bus, it's about 4 to 5 hours. Now, I do want to caution and I do want to warn. So it is not going to be like that's a journey time, I'm saying. Okay. There are some clearances and other things that ministry requires that could add up an additional hour or two. So bear that in mind. So when I said if you're going by bus 4 to 5 hours, it doesn't mean 4 to 5 hours you'll be in Mina by bus or by train. It's 1 hour of travel time. The ministry requires certain processing. Okay, so that could add an hour, hour and a half also. So bear that in mind. Okay, now as far as the checkout time is generally like about 3 o'clock is the checkout time. If your flight is at 7 o'clock, you will have to leave before 3 o'clock anyway to the airport. The arrangements to the airport from Mecca to the airport is by bus. Okay, so that is something that the service provider will make the arrangement, and this will be announced there when the buses are available. We have all this information that has been tracked. So this we are sharing with the service provider, and service provider also pulls it from Nusuk, so they know who has to be at the airport at what time, and based on that, they will have made some arrangements for the buses, etc. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Last thing to note, Farid bhai, is oh, you have more questions? Sorry.
Yeah. So no, brother Farid. So my question is from Jeddah to Medina.
Right. That's what I answered earlier. Jeddah to Medina by train is about an hour, and by bus it's about 4 hours. And that arrangement will be done by the service provider.
So if you got there 9:30, so I'm gonna get to Medina by Fajr if it's by bus.
Possible. I want to be careful in telling you the time because there is a processing by the ministry that could take an hour or it could take a little bit longer. But the travel time is about 4 to 5 hours by bus, an hour by train.
All right, thank you very much.
Assalamualaikum. May I have question?
Yes, sister, but we do need to
last
wrap
question,
up.
inshallah.
Let's make
Last
it the
question,
last
inshallah.
question.
Sorry,
Let's
I'm
make it the
done.
last.
Yeah, I have question. When we arrive in Jeddah, the suitcase check-in, is that directly to the hotel, or we have to be look for ourselves the
You will
check-in?
have to take it out from the customs. You'll have to take it through the customs, and then you'll hand it to the either the bus or the train station. Okay, you will have to handle that one, but there will be people there to help you, inshallah.
Oh, okay. Okay then. Thank you so
Okay.
much. Thank you.
All right. Jazakallah khair for attending.
Assalamu alaikum, brother Farid.
Walaikum
Sorry
salam.
to bother you. Yeah, I was waiting for a long time, but no one called my name. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Just a few quick question. You know that I am from Canada, so I register with you, but there is some groups in Canada, but I choose you anyway. Do you have any how will be dealing with group from Canada? Do you have any group? I know me and my wife, but do you have any other thing with?
We have
from
different
Canada?
people from different, not specifically at your time. We are
Uh-huh.
all going to meet at the hotel, brother. Okay.
Oh,
The
okay,
plan
okay.
for
From
our
here.
groups
Go ahead. Sorry.
is to meet at the guides will meet
There.
each of the groups at the hotels, inshallah ta'ala. That's the plan.
Okay. Okay. So if you have seminar or something, we just continue the information from you, just receiving everything from
Correct.
you for now.
Yeah. Well, your guide will also be in touch with you right here, by the way. It's not like
You are
only
my
there.
guide. You are my guide because I already check everything on Waraf. They put your name and my name. It's or you're part of your group anyway. So I am part of your group basically. I choose Precious Hajj and they already put my name with your name, Ahmed Farid, as guide. That's what they say anyway. So
Farid is the name of the whole group, brother. I just want you to understand this. I'm
it's
sorry.
not Farid Ahmed. Who's it?
I know. Farid Ahmed is the name of the group, but I have a team, okay? Team of guides, and we are going to assign the different guides to different groups, inshallah ta'ala. And I will be there, but I don't know which group I'll be there.
No problem. Anyway, but the same thing but I know I asked you before about room configuration. You will be doing that too, right?
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yes.
And we'll talk about the other stuff later. Okay, Jazakallah. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Brother Farid, salam alaikum. You mentioned that it's going to be like for each group, you said around 45 hujjaj, and it's going to be each 45 hujjaj one guide. Is that enough? Or is going to be helper that's going to be with each guide? Like assistant?
The service provider will have helpers there in general, okay? But one guide will be assigned to the 45 people, basically, okay? In our case, we are going to reduce that to about 40 people, okay? There is one guide per 40 people, but there are helpers available, not necessarily for each group itself, okay? One guide, generally, we are all adults, okay? We can easily handle that. It's not a problem. Okay, we have not had an issue where we need to have multiple people for each group. We have not had that situation. And plus, when it comes to the camps, we'll have multiple people together anyway. Okay.
So Farid, I think there's a good suggestion came in the chat was if there can be a single PDF with all the links, because people are getting confused with which link does what. And also I know some people have been messaging saying that they didn't get a chance to ask. So what I'll suggest is, inshallah, either you can ask next week, inshallah, we'll do a session on next Saturday as well. Or you can use there is a Q&A form. So you can ask your question there as well, inshallah.
Okay. Is there any question on the material that I have shared today? If it is there, I'm willing to answer that still. On the material I have shared, which is
you
basically...
can unmute yourself, if you have a question regarding the topics
related to Mashaer days. People, please understand. I don't want to answer the question now because it's already almost getting to be 2 hours at this point, okay? But I'm willing to answer the question on the material I shared today because I want to make sure the material shared today is clearly understood.
Wait, Assalamu alaikum. This is Mohammed
Well,
Islam. My question is only 5 seconds. So we
yes,
got the
Brother Muhammad, tell me.
we got the PDF visa. All I have to do is just print it out, right? We don't have to get a stamp from the embassy or anything, right?
That is right.
Okay. Jazakallah khairan.
Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and wrap up. Jazakallah khair for everybody for attending. Please make sure you attend each one of the webinars because they are very critical. This is we are choosing on our words. Please understand, when I'm presenting things, I'm choosing my words because I want to relay the most critical information to you in the most concise way. So it is very important that you attend the seminars, our webinars. We only have few weeks left. We want to make sure that you're well prepared. And when you come back from there, you come back with Hajj Mabrur without any violation. I don't want a situation where you have to pay the dam wherever possible. I know situations might happen. So, but that can only happen if you are paying close attention to what we are explaining, how we are explaining. So please attend the webinars as much as possible. Jazakallah khair. If anything that we have done good, it's only from the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I want to mention this. I talked to my team, our team, we discussed this. We are so very humbled that Allah has chosen us to be in the situation where we are guiding the people for the Hajj. We could be guiding people to go to Amsterdam, all kinds of other places, but no, we are guiding people to perform Hajj. This is a humbling moment for us. So we are greatly thankful to Allah. If any mistake we have made, it's only from our weakness. Inshallah, we'll try to correct it as much as possible. We seek Allah's forgiveness for that, inshallah ta'ala. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika wa tabarak asmuka wa ta'ala jadduka wa la ilaha ghayruk. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wal asr. Innal insana lafi khusr. Illa alladhina amanu wa amilus salihati wa tawasaw bil haqqi wa tawasaw bis sabr. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum.